Fresh Prince CEO, one half of the duo that is Fresh and Fit, a very controversial podcast that talks about topics from personal finance, crypto, to politics, to relationship advice. But let's face it, people are only ever watching this podcast for its after-hour show. I'd say half just find the debauchery entertaining. They probably were the type to enjoy Jerry Springer and Steve Wilkos back in the day. And that other half are what I like to call the Revenge of the Nerds watchers. The guys who get a high from seeing women who wouldn't even spit on them if they were on fire get what they quote-unquote deserve.
Jaleel goes, ratings for Fresh to Myron. Trinidadian Finding Nemo, 4. NASCAR race driver, 6. Family Dollar drag queen, 3. She's gone now, but brown skin Halo ghost nose, 5. Nihokilan, 7. Squidward's nose, 3. Cardi B, 5. La Cienga from Proud Family, 5. Great value LMI, 6.
Like Jaleel just donated $20 just to insult some woman with overly low rating. What do you gain? Probably thinking, take that, Alyssa, while imagining it being one of the women who rejected him for not being a high value man. I mean, come on, we got guys donating hundreds of dollars just to call women mid that they're probably subscribed to an OnlyFans. To be fair, at some points it can be funny. For me, it's usually at the expense of the hosts.
Fresh?
Yeah.
A 3.
I'd say 7.
Okay.
For you.
All right.
I'd agree with the 3.
But for the Revenge of the Nerds guys, they like it when the hosts bully the girls. They wish it were them doing the same.
That shit, bro.
Bro, you talking a bunch of shit. Shut the up for 2 seconds, and this is the reality.
She's her
There's
own
no excuse.
woman.
There's no excuse to be fat ever. Okay? Period.
But she's not fat.
She's huge. No offense. She's she's around 200
She's
pounds.
a woman.
She's around 200 pounds right now.
Why are you disrespect?
I was 75, but it's okay.
That's huge.
You're shaming her.
170. It's the truth. Shame is good.
Anyways, that's besides the point. This video isn't on Fresh and Fit as a whole, although I could do that. This is about the consensus lesser half of Fresh and Fit. He's 50% of the face of FNF. He does 10% of the talking, but reaps 100% of the rewards. No one ever really talks about Fresh. I see all the scrutiny really being placed on Myron, the other half, rightfully so. But Fresh is also making money off the $700 course and all of the donations. And honestly, I'm interested in learning how to get women. I have to make sure who's teaching me to become a high value male practice what he preaches, right? Besides, someone so publicly facing wouldn't lie habitually or act in the opposite way he teaches his fans to. And someone like that definitely wouldn't get a self-proclaimed gold digger pregnant, right? Right? Before I can speak on what Fresh has done, and trust me, there's a lot, we must talk about who Fresh is. Fresh, whose real name is Walter Weeks, grew up in Barbados. His father was not around, and thus he was raised by his mom and his grandma. Here in Barbados is where he racked up his over 1,000 body count. I'm not joking and I'm not being sarcastic, he actually said this.
At this point, bro, I just stopped counting.
You stopped counting?
But thing is, I never really counted. I just averaged off of like what I kind of had on my phone.
Yeah, so 50 a year for 10 years, and then is that how it works? Oh, you're a man of God.
Because,
My bad.
My
Fresh is a
WhatsApp
man of
had
God,
like
by the way.
a bunch of numbers, and then when I look at my contact list, I'm like, hold on, majority of this is girls. I did the math.
Yeah.
They're not from Barbados, so it's like tourist girls. So I was like, holy shit, there's a lot of girls. Then I did the math.
That's how you came to 1,000 from before.
Come on, you got the number, bro.
Something like that.
You started to do that?
But yeah.
They're already saying it in the chat. They already know.
But it's pretty high.
It's allegedly.
Which you forgot.
Yeah, I forgot at this point. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but this is what I think with the Trump situation, right? So obviously he's facing the most serious charges. I would say are definitely the classified documents one.
Now, I'm not gonna harp on this because it's low-hanging fruit, but dude, this guy is just not easy on the eyes, man. Nor is he in shape. The man's not fresh or fit. I'm not saying he's a virgin, especially now with money. You'll get play in Miami. We know this, but over 1,000 bodies, more than your co-host, who's actually above a 7, just as rich as you. 6'3" and in shape, no Diddy, but if your co-host is more attractive with the same amount of money, and I'd say just as attractive personality-wise to women, only has a triple-digit body count, there's not a snowball's chance in hell you're close to that. This is one of the many tall tales our friend Walter makes. While researching this video, I couldn't find too much about his personal life and life before Fresh and Fit, but honestly, I'm not sure how much I just accept at face value coming out of his mouth. Moving on, Walter eventually met Myron Gaines after moving to America through a mutual friend. This was winning the lottery for Walter. He was essentially carried to the top by Myron. I don't agree with 99% of what FNF says, but I have to admit, their posting schedule is consistent, and they're one of the few podcasts who actually have people who disagree with them regularly on the show. And Fresh is a key part in none of that. Watching any live stream, you can see Fresh isn't so much a co-host and rather a sidekick. During my research, I promise you, he didn't say one insightful, interesting thing that added value, and he barely was even coherent.
Oh, well, I've been to, Romania, I've been to Texas. Like, for example, European countries.
Yeah.
He's
That worked though. I met one of the managers. Now I just make a phone call or text. I get everything done. W.
Boom. So to answer your question,
This happens all the time. Fresh will make a stupid statement with no coherence. Someone, whether it's Myron, the guest, or the girls on the panel, will give him a pity laugh, or they'll just outright ignore it and move on. Someone on Reddit said it's like a kid saying some random stuff to you and you just ignore it. This is exactly what Fresh is to this podcast and to everyone around him. Many of you who are familiar with the podcast, you might know that Fresh has a speech impediment. A guy who can't talk is hosting a podcast.
Multiple times, basically disrespect her husband by, for example, saying certain things, or or what does that mean? So a girl, like, I want to say it similar to a guy. Hold on. So it's kind of like she's winning. He is on the other hand.
I could sit down and watch a 2-hour compilation of this guy stuttering. It's the funniest stuff you'll ever see on the internet. But clearly, nothing about Fresh makes sense. Yes, I know, and it'll continue to be a theme. Again, not gonna harp on this one too much because in the same way, it's low-hanging fruit. Even if this guy is a weirdo, he didn't choose to have to deal with that. But it is relevant to bring up every now and then. So this guy has a speech impediment. Cool. Maybe he's got some good insights to share, or maybe he's...
I watched
Egypt
this dick.
sometimes.
Have you
What?
taken mushrooms? Have you taken
Yeah,
mushrooms?
have
Or
Oh, he has nothing to say? He just repeats what the co-host says but less intelligibly? Gotcha. Well, maybe he's a comic relief guy. You know, Myron's the he and he's the funny.
For work.
For work?
Like, I don't know how
Exchange.
many times, like, I gotta say the same thing, you know?
listen, Tina, aren't you networking when you go out?
Yeah.
4 to 8 months, nigga.
Networking these dicks. All right, let's move on.
Look, man, I'm not trying to.
Okay, maybe not. So he can't talk, he's not funny, he's not smart. What does he do? Well, for the podcast, he's the lead network, whatever the hell that means. I mean, intuitively, you kind of need to be socially calibrated to network. A big part of social calibration is being funny. I've never seen so many clips of someone's jokes not land. And you also kind of need to be able to speak to people to network. Communication is a little bit of a big thing, but let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he's really good at it despite all of this. Let's see his networking in action.
Yo, my niggas here after the game. What the fuck? Yo, you like W Yeah, we just like. No. He's a legend, bro. Fuck with him, bro. All the way.
Trying to be, man.
What are you glazing for? Yeah, we met earlier at Powers last.
Man.
Yeah, bro, he's
I'm just saying,
a
nigga.
major dick sucker. You see somebody with a chain and gets on his knees, I swear.
So it seems his networking is just overtly, brazenly, viciously, relentlessly bouncing on the meat of whoever he's trying to get on the pod / got on the pod. Anyone who knows anything knows that this is probably the worst way of networking, if it can even be called that. So you've established that Walter's essentially useless to the podcast and is just along for the ride, racking in all the money. Speaking of money, you can call Fresh what you want, but you can't call him broke. That boy is ballin', capital B, and with no budget. We're talking Lambos, expensive trips, cars, jewelry, designer, lots of women. Said woman he used to make videos with consistently on his side channel, taking multiple different girls on dates. He met these girls all through social media apps and dating apps, one of which is seeking arrangements. Both Myron and Fresh claimed a salt daddy, which from my understanding, salt daddying is essentially a sugar daddy who doesn't actually do what you'd expect from a sugar daddy and only pretends to be one to lure the women in and get what they want. All's fair in love and war, so I'm not going to talk about the ethics of either side of that, but I do know one thing. There is no living woman, especially in Miami, who's with Fresh on any level without getting money, clout, or both. This shouldn't be hotly debated, and I'm sure 95% of you guys agree with me. Hell, even their subreddit agrees with me. Their own fan base wants Fresh kicked off the pod. Literally just type in Walter or Fresh in the search bar, you'll see what I'm talking about. They all think he's a fraud, and for good reason. For those who disagree and likely see themselves in Fresh, again, another Revenge of the Nerds situation. The outcast who finally makes it and shits on all his haters with all the money he has. They think if he can do it, I can do it too. Not realizing this is quite literally the definition of blind luck. I'm not hating, I'm just calling it how I see it. To be honest, I'm fine with his wealth. It's not like the last guy I made a video on who got his wealth from bullying little kids into paying monthly. This guy's scamming other grown, lonely, angry men out of hundreds of dollars. I mean, if you think this guy can help you get women, all you have to do is pay him over $100 every month. You don't deserve that money. Give it to Fresh. I mean, what else would a woman be with him for? His deep conversation, his way with his words, his charisma, his looks, his body. There is literally nothing to draw you to this man besides money, and he flaunts it constantly on dating apps. Even he knows it. In lieu of having actual substance of character, looks, or charm, the man just alludes to the size of his junk constantly. So in his mind, hopefully the viewers at home, and more importantly the ladies, think, oh, so that's why the girls like him, not because of the millions he has and flaunts. The subreddit is literally called length or girth in reference to Fresh consistently asking that. You might be asking, well Don, why does it matter if the women are using him for the money? If he knows it and they know it, all's fair. Plus he's salt daddying, remember? He doesn't pay a single cent. Unfortunately, both of those are not true. He's genuinely deluded himself into thinking that he's loved for anything more than his money. He actually does pay these women, although often indirectly, it's paying nonetheless. We're gonna get to that shortly, just wait. The first part really blows me because we have NBA players who aren't trusting in women because they're rich and they've had girls throwing themselves at them since they picked up a ball. Yet we have Fresh, the guy at the lunch table who couldn't laugh too loud at a joke because he'd be told, I know you ain't laughing instantly. Just assumes that he's so charming and has so much game, that's why women want him. The money's just an afterthought. It's truly insane. Luckily for us, we don't need to speculate, guys. Fresh gives us lots of evidence as to why this is true.
Go mojitos, right?
Good mojitos.
Yeah. She want to get cucumber. I'm like, no, get coconut. But first off, she want to copy me and get coconut. She got beyond. She's vegan, not vegetarian. Wait, no, it's the other way around. Vegan. There you go. It's so many terms. Here comes the rice. My boy got the rice now. Thanks, brother. We got you.
From all these videos, you can see and feel the almost disgust that these women have towards him. For God's sakes, he's talking to them and they seem embarrassed to be out in public with him and are probably thinking, please shut up and let me eat the free food you got me. He has to have some sort of evolved form of cognitive dissonance because he literally described women in situations like this in previous videos. He's warning himself.
Guys, so number one, imagine this, right? You're on a date, you're paying for everything, but guess what? You're not seeing that she doesn't see you as a viable sexual option because guess what? At this point, she sees us, you know what? He's a cool guy, but he's not what I really want. But I'm gonna finesse him because guess what? He thinks I'm gonna smash, but I'm not gonna smash.
So now you know where he spends his money, but this is just dates. Although the girls don't like him, doesn't prove he's deluded himself. I also claim that he spends money on them. Taking girls on a date is a normal expense when you're trying to find the one. This would all be true had there not been the Miranda situation. Miranda was the first girl Fresh publicly took serious. More than any other sugar babies that he was seeing. Fresh would publicly reveal that she was above others while maintaining that they were not official yet. They were, in his words, just vibing. All fine and dandy if she hadn't been with someone else in the pod before finding a bigger mark in Fresh. Red flag number one, but let's move on. Fresh went on to explain why Miranda is way different than the typical Miami girl because she's not from here.
What does it mean to be different from a Miami girl? Explain that difference.
Okay, so for example, right? She's not into like designer, going crazy like, oh, I need to have this and that. It's more like, she wants a good time with me, right? And then secondly, it's like, for example,
What Miami girls are.
huh?
Again, would be all fine and dandy if she didn't literally make videos talking about how she hates men and finesses them out of their money.
She's not into like designer, going crazy like, oh, I need to have this and that. It's more like, she wants a good time with me.
It can't get worse than that, right? Wrong. Fresh literally matched with her on a sugar baby site. She didn't want to meet with him or have anything to do with him, that is, until she met him on his yacht. Then she was all in.
I invited her on the yacht, right? For a purpose to meet and talk to her.
So the first time you met her, you invited her on the yacht.
100%.
And you left the yacht by saying she to me for me.
From then, a whirlwind romance began. Anyone with half a brain could tell exactly what was happening. From DJ Academics, who was on the pod at the time, pointing out the hypocrisy, to the girls on the podcast laughing at every contradicting point he made. He just wasn't being congruent, and he was being delusional.
I actually have game, bro, right? That being said, hold on. That being said, right, bro? Your experience, right?
He's laughed at people for less obvious, embarrassing things. If someone walked in with remotely the same story, these guys' head would explode. But since it's Fresh, both of them are singing a different tune. I think even Fresh had a low-level understanding that she doesn't like him that much. I mean, she literally wouldn't even kiss him on camera. Anyway, this whirlwind romance continued for a few weeks, and eventually even Fresh got embarrassed at the laughingstock he made himself and tried to keep it under wraps.
Yo, gotta hop on the camera. Come over here. I want to know. Real talk. Yo, I'm in first class and everybody got to know. What type of dog is this?
There's moments you don't record.
Nigga, I just want to see what dog this is. Move!
Nigga.
Hero!
Delete that.
Call it the 4K, man. Holy. Watch this, watch this. Holy. Oh my God.
Hey, what are you doing?
That's when you get my man caught up.
I don't fuck your girl, so.
But after not long, their love story ended, if it even had a start, but not after Miranda gained all the clout and money that she needed. Now that we have laid the foundation of understanding Fresh, who he is, the type of women he likes, and the Miranda incident, this brings us to present day, the moment you've all been waiting for. Enter Daisy, Fresh's newest love interest, who he's been taking more seriously than his other sugar babies. This woman could quite easily be the undoing of Fresh, not the podcast, because if they lost him, that would be dead weight gone in the most literal of senses. Daisy is allegedly an escort from China that Fresh met, of course, on a sugar baby site. She literally states herself that all she cares about is money, and she did this in front of Walter.
China? Bare minimum income?
Someone's not boring and very honest
Okay.
Okay.
and knows what he wants.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, how much
Put it
per
on me,
year?
Chris.
What?
Cut it on me.
How much per year?
Not less than 7 figures.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Okay.
shit.
Yeah.
That's great.
Okay.
So that's gotta be 1 million a year at least.
Yeah.
You've dated
Which is
someone?
fine.
Okay.
My ex was billionaire, so
okay.
Oh,
shit.
Okay.
Okay. Bare minimum height.
doesn't matter because I used to care about the look a lot, but right now I just don't care.
Okay.
'Cause, you know,
shorter than
when you put the look on the table at first, you're always gonna attract that type of person who cares about the look, not the brain.
Chris, what the f you doing, bro?
What?
Don't put a camera on me, nigga.
Split screen, man.
Fresh is good looking though. Okay.
Okay, come on, man.
Stop the cap.
Yo, Chris has been waiting for this day, bro.
But just for me,
He's been waiting for
the look
this.
is not the most important.
I know. That's why
Brain
you went
comes
first.
first. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna roast you, Chris.
All right. And then I'm gonna put for preferred race. I'm just gonna put black. Okay, great. Okay.
Didn't give her a chance to say anything.
Okay.
Not only that, she literally said she doesn't care about the looks of the person she's dating. She would date someone no matter the weight, the height, the looks. If they make at least 7 figures, it's good to her. Basically, she said he's ugly as hell, but he's got money and that's all I care about. Not only that, she said that she had an ex that was a billionaire. These are all her words, not mine. So he knew this and still decided to take her seriously. On top of that, we know how these guys feel about women who show their body and seek male attention. It's supposed to be a turnoff and they won't stand for it since they're so high value. Fair. Then why does his girlfriend post such scantily clad photos? I can't even post some of these in the video because YouTube's weird and you know how that goes. Walter inconsistency weeks. It doesn't end there. He got to tricking on her super quick, buying her a 30K Van Cleef bracelet after being love bombed by this woman. She has an amazing skill I've seen no other woman in relation to Walter have. Not even Miranda, who was the best thus far. You can still tell Miranda had a visceral aversion to Fresh. There's the je ne sais quoi that she has about her around him that you could tell it's not genuine. Anyone besides the average FNF viewer who probably has never had a woman actually like them, hence why they say women can only love you if you have $2 billion in your bank account, can just see it. It's a vibe. You know when you're at some sort of function, you see the guy who thinks he's totally in with the girl and everyone can tell she's not feeling him but him? This is usually the case with every girl Fresh interacts with. I think I've made it abundantly clear thus far, but with Daisy, her eyes are set on the prize of money. She has damn near fooled us, so you know for a fact she's got Walter on lockdown. So let's set the stage. Walter and his girlfriend, who goes against everything he promotes on his podcast, continues to make vlogs, Instagram posts about their beautiful, genuine, totally not transactional relationship. To illustrate how deep this relationship was, Fresh's girlfriend met his mom. You don't just take any girl to meet your mom. They were serious in every way besides Fresh giving her that title. I think he likes the ability to use what he sees as a checkmate when someone says, hey, Fresh, weren't you inconsistent here? He can always just go, we were never official. Technically, yes, but that's your main girl, bro. Dude could be 17 years in with the girl, have 4 kids, and won't put a title on it, so his inconsistencies can't be called out. Nevertheless, all wasn't seemingly perfect for long. Eventually, it seems Daisy caught wind that Fresh was tricking on not only her, but multiple other girls. That boy got that dog in him. If the dog was a pug that spent money on women who could care less about him. But did she really catch wind of this, or did she know and not care? All these high value men podcasts tell you that if a girl likes you enough, you can cheat and get away with it. They'll be fine with it. Apart from the immorality of that, anyone who says this is telling on themselves. Because anyone who even has a modicum of experience in the real world and non-FNF's chat knows that if a girl likes you, they'd rather be shot dead than have you even be friendly to a girl, much less cheat. In fact, I say the ratio is the more a girl likes you, the less you can cheat. Even if she wants to stay with you, it'd be hard to impossible because you're someone she loves who just betrayed her in a terrible way. Even if you establish this in the beginning of the relationship, it takes a certain kind of woman to go along with this, and that kind of woman is a gold digger, a girl who really doesn't care about you, or a girl doing the same thing behind your back. Maybe even all three, which I suspect this girl is.
He wanted to see other girls, and his job, because of what he does, obviously he's going to like deal with other women, associate with other women, which is fine for me. We had an agreement, on that. And I know all men, to become successful, they wouldn't want to be with just one woman. And I told him,
as long as I'm the man, that's fine.
This is true in 100% of the cases. I don't care what anyone says. I've yet to see a man who proclaims this to be true, who both actually does it, and also it's obvious that the girl truly loves him and the cheating/stepping out doesn't affect her in any way. Anyway, on top of this, Fresh is having some trouble returning texts and phone calls. To me, it seems he found a new girl to trick on. Seeing the opportunity of money fading and her investment going to waste, she dropped the bombshell. Daisy was pregnant. Now I feel the need to disclaim because I don't know how far this will go, and in general, I don't trust money-hungry people. So none of this is fact. It was all alleged from both Fresh's side and Daisy's side. I know nothing whatsoever. I don't know if it's true or not. That out of the way, here's a text Daisy sent Walter breaking the news. Super heavy stuff. Fresh, who just hit the jackpot a few years ago. He's rich, and that's a big deal. Not much could really mess this up besides a kid. He told her, I don't want any kids, as if he's some 21-year-old trying to make it out, bro. You're rich, you're 31 years old, what else are you waiting for? You always make fun of women for not settling down. Studies also show that men who are older and have kids, it affects the child. Obviously not as much as women, who if they get too old can't have children outright, but age is a factor. What else are you waiting for? Don't say you want to get it all out of you because you banged 1,000 different girls, bro. You're empty, there's nothing to get out. It's time to settle down with your Asian sugar baby. He continually urges her to terminate the baby. Pretty bad stuff, but I honestly don't feel too bad for her because she's one, allegedly, a gold digger, and it's super obvious to me. If her literally saying that wasn't enough, in the text you can see her threatening him with child support. My theories again, just my theory, she saw the writing on the wall that she was about to fumble the bag and got pregnant because Walter is a dimwit who's meeting girls who expressly only want money and blaming in them with no protection. What could go wrong, right? The texts are filled with gaslighting and manipulation from both sides. Walter telling her he's broke, has no money, alluding to not being in the kid's life in an effort to get her to abort, while she plays both sides of I'm gonna keep this kid and saying he can't be in this kid's life but expects money. For Walter, this is exactly the me reaping versus me sowing meme. Compare and contrast these two people essentially using each other, the one using the other for money and the other one using her for pleasure and alpha male points. They were all smiles, transaction complete, yay, I'm sowing. Now it's time for them to both reap, and it sucks. In this voice message, you can hear extreme levels of manipulation once again.
What? I want the baby because I don't want to kill the baby. I don't want to kill nobody. I don't want to.
You're not. They just give you a pill and it's over.
No. I'm pregnant.
No, but that's what I'm saying. The pill, they just give it to you from a doctor and then you're good.
I am pregnant. I can't pretending like nothing happened. I can't. In my religion, we don't kill.
You're not killing. Okay.
I want to keep the baby.
Okay. Well, like I said, I just don't want any kids. You know?
Okay, so what you gonna do? And what you gonna do to me?
Nothing. Well, why did I do anything to you?
Nothing?
Why did I do anything to you?
No, I know. So, like, how are you gonna deal with this? By saying I don't want a baby? That's all?
I mean, if you go to the doctor, I guess.
To the doctor. So you want abortion?
I mean, yeah. Why do you want a kid now?
It'll be so hard for her if she goes through with it. Very obviously trying to push this message. You can hear her trying to goad him saying, what are you gonna do to me? Clearly and obviously trying to get him to threaten her or something, to use in court in the future probably. All around messed up situation, and that's where the story lies for now. I would wager, but if she comes around quote unquote to terminating the pregnancy, it'll only be if Walter sends her money. Otherwise, she might keep the pregnancy and see it through and be set for life that way. Either way it goes, I don't feel bad for either party involved. She ended up on Streamer Gistical Stream and gave her side of the story. It was as see-through and manipulation ridden as everything out of this woman's mouth thus far.
By the United States law, he has to pay for the child support.
Right,
even
true.
if he doesn't want to. But the thing is, I just wish that he could behave better. Like, baby, I'm gonna be here for you. Even
Daisy,
like,
why would he?
She was literally talking about how she's already spoken to lawyers, she knows the law, he has to pay child support, and he will never get to see the kid, while at the same time telling him to step up as a man. It seems the only version of stepping up she knows is financially. One of the people on the stream by the name of Tree literally couldn't wrap her head around the fact that she was with Fresh. She bought this lady's story hook, line, and sinker, so to her, money wasn't the reason. So what could it be? Her mind was exploding trying to figure that out.
No offense, but when I look at Walter, I go, really? Him? What?
everybody asked me that. Everybody's saying he's ugly.
Everybody.
Even my friends says he's ugly.
Yeah,
my friends
I'm
say,
just
don't
like-
keep the baby. He's gonna be
Like,
ugly.
oh my God.
Oh no! Oh Jesus!
What's
This is not
wrong?
good.
From my opinion, it's like if I love the person, the appearance doesn't matter.
Side note, they call this dude a high value man, yet you have women theorizing on what you could possibly have brought to the table if it weren't money and laughing hysterically at the thought of even dating you. Anyway, a big issue this girl has, and honestly most gold diggers including Miranda, is they think that if they're not asking outright, please give me 20k cash, and essentially behaving like a cliche gold digger, then they're genuine. But the fact of the matter is, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Every time she says, I like his lifestyle, she's talking about the money he brings. When grilled about the fact that he has nothing to draw to him besides money, yet has terrible views on women, she reveals that to Fresh, the podcast is just work.
Fresh, he doesn't really speak on the show, so like, and I don't really understand the show. Before I knew him, I don't even know about like this show. I don't know anything about it. He explained to me it's just a work, you know. It's his work. And he doesn't behave like that with me.
Further proving my theory that Fresh quite literally hit the jackpot with this gig. He doesn't even believe the shit that Myron says. He just wants to FBs and get money. It's honestly quite incredible. One of the most telling things was when she made the joke about her baby coming out as ugly. So clearly you know he's not attractive, but that's your soon-to-be daughter or son. Anyone who was serious about keeping it wouldn't laugh at that. How detrimental to a child would it be to hear his or her mom thought they'd be ugly and his or her dad wanted them aborted? It makes sense for Tree to laugh. She's not involved and the joke was honestly pretty funny. But for her to make it and laugh just clearly means she's not serious about the kid and more so serious about the bag. Eventually, political streamer Destiny joined and started grilling her.
For her to say earlier, she's like, and I know that in the United States of America, paternity law says that he needs to pay for this. And also, I'm on a tourist visa, so I can't work. And it's very expensive here and I'm Miami and I need him to pay for all of the blah, 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 blah. Like, bro, she wasn't going 50-50 earlier. She was investing. And it's about to pay 18 years worth of dividends.
I'm not
like,
saying he needs to pay for.
He put my thoughts into words when he said that this woman was investing. She might have paid for her tickets to Miami, helped his mom with stuff, walked Fresh's dog, but this isn't indicative of her not being a gold digger. It just means she's a smart one. That's why she's so mad right now. She's invested so much because it was supposed to be a big lick. Now that that's falling apart, she needs to launch her final plan, the baby trap. She tries her hardest to make it seem like she's genuine, but can't help herself from trying to threaten Fresh with child support and the fact that she can't work in America. Essentially, she's saying, dude, you better pay me to get rid of this thing, or the government's gonna give me money because of all these factors. Allegedly, again, all speculating, don't sue me. You might be wondering whose side I'm on. Well, that's just it. I have no dog in this fight, I have no side. I could care less what happens. I just think the reality is that these two need to be showcased. Both are clearly selfish people who are just trying to take advantage of the other. All around sad situation for the kid, but that kid will be the only victim in this, whether it's taking a term or not. Is this the life of the alpha male, the high value male, whatever you want to call it that these guys talk about? No doubt the money is inspiring to all of us. We would all like that. But it's all about smashing random gross who clearly can't stand anything about you besides the Benjamins in your pocket. This is true of both hosts, but obviously far more in the case of Fresh. Whatever beliefs you subscribe to, there has to be more than this. If these are the pillars of your ideology, it's clearly flawed. I'll play devil's advocate. Maybe the pillars are just bad and the masses are better. But are they? The angry men donating hundreds to try and insult girls who make money off men just like them. The men on Reddit asking each other hypotheticals about their Johnson size and the optimal way to get women. Or maybe it's the men that are paying $700 to join a course that'll teach them how to get women. Something that other well-adjusted men get for free. Yeah, to me, it looks like it's not just the people subscribing to it or leading it. It's the ideology as a whole. Fresh is a metaphor for the entire thing. He's inconsistent, just like the red pill. You can't say men are the leaders while complaining about how women have ruined everything. Just take control and lead. You can't say that we need traditional values while being the exact opposite of traditional values, imploring men to rack up 50 body count while your co-host impregnates alleged escorts. You can't say men take accountability and women don't, while giving men excuses for being taken to the cleaners in court after marrying a woman with 100 red flags. Or making excuses for your sad lives by blaming everything on them boys. And finally, you can't say you deserve a respectable woman who submits to you when you're not a respectable man worth submitting to. Don't be like Fresh, man. If you hit the lottery, be smart about it. Don't use that lottery ticket to try and get girls, because you might end up losing it, or making you and your pockets an even bigger internet laughingstock than it already is. Subscribe if you watched this far, more video essays coming soon. If you like this, learn about a guy on Twitch who created a whole new generation of slurs for black people, doxed over 10 people, and bans his fans for asking questions without paying him. With that being said, thanks for watching, peace out y'all.